encourage you guys to kind of put your business hat on this morning and you know, just a lot of exciting things. I just really want to recognize people that are really doing some great things right now, and ever since he's got license, I mean, this guy's in the field like, even though he's got another business, he's in the field almost on the daily. He's getting results. I got a new associate yesterday, got a new piece of business in yesterday. Finally getting him appointed. And we got appointments even this afternoon after training. And this guy's become a leader. I got a lot of feedback from his training last, so those of you that were in his training last Monday night, I got to see the replay that I think Sarah posted, right? And we just see this dude on another level, man. I just see him really coming up in a big way, and he's really, when I first met him, I knew that this guy was gonna be something special here, you know, once he really got going. And he first came to us and said, hey, I got my business, I just wanna come and, you know, now I'm not gonna really be doing anything, I just wanna come and kind of mingle and get from the personal development. I used to tell Isaac, it's like, bro, I wanna get this guy in. Took him about a year to do so. But you know, I just know that he brings that mentality. He's a leader. You know, he's just really a champion, man. So that's Mr. Thomas Padilla. You know, tell us how you're feeling, man. Like, you know, you've been really active, bro. What's going on in your mind?
No, I just feel very connected. You know, very connected with myself, and you know, I've always like felt that I've had like some natural leadership ability and things like that. As I look back in my life and I look at me in sports and I look at my interactions with other teammates and my ability to have this little connection with each one and have all of us move in the right direction, and I always know that, you know, I had this something. I've been searching and I was able to come here and see an opportunity, and I always knew in the back of my head, honestly, like for the longest time that I was sitting in here, and I always said to myself, I was like, man, you know, if I chose to do this, I know I'd do really well at this, and but you know, I was having this internal battle for the longest time because I was like, nah, you know, that's not you. You know, you're a fitness guy. You know, you just stick to your lane and this and that. But you know, with time, it's just like, you know, I just see it as such a glaring opportunity, and it's just kind of dumb for me to not do this. You know, so and then so I just decided to go full force starting in July. Basically, is when I really made the decision to do it, and yeah, it's going exactly like how I thought it would go.
Well said, bro. Well said, man.
Awesome.
My wife yesterday, we were like working on something, and I was like, babe, I'm gonna go start going white again. And she's like, you need to find people like Isaac and Thomas. She's like, those are the, you know, find that age group. And I was like, you know what?
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. Yeah,
So true.
they're hungry, they're after it, you know. And
They got a lot of life ahead of them.
right. But that's what you know, that's what I want to, you know, there's a lot of epiphanies I've been having really lately in business. Separating your heart from your head. Right, that's something I want to share. I'm going to go into some good stuff today, but I want to start off with that is, you know, we teach a lot on emotional intelligence here, and I think we are, as human beings, emotional creatures. I'm someone that I think is one of been my biggest challenges throughout my life is, you know, separating my heart from my head. Because sometimes you get caught up in looking at things with your heart so much, right, that you forget the logic, right? That, you know, hey, what are the facts? And you got to learn how to do that. You got to. That's a big discernment that you have to do as an entrepreneur, right? In terms of ours, is because you know how we say there's like a big saying in business that's been through the ages, like, hey, it's not personal, it's just business, right? And what does that mean? That means is what it is sometimes we tend to look at things through the filter of our heart, but really when you put the logic behind it, is like, for instance, our business is this somebody that I should be investing time with, right? And it's not personal, but sometimes you really have to look at your business and be very strategic, because winning is strategic, it's not emotional. And I look at things now for really what they are and say, look, is this somebody that I'm going to invest in because there's going to be a return on investment? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I know sometimes, right, and that's the biggest thing, sometimes we spend time with people in business because we like them, but they don't get around to doing nothing, right? But man, they're such good people to talk to, and we have such a great connection, and we have the best conversations, but it doesn't produce, you know, and you look at your bank account and you're like, I don't see that growing at all. Like, is this, I don't know. And then sometimes the people that maybe you don't really like in business are the people that actually do something, right? They know how to produce. They know how to get out there and get done. You see what I'm saying? And so you have to know how to really discern where you're really investing your time, right, at and with, and always really look at that, you know, because you got to separate your heart from your head in this business, right? It's a big, big thing, and you got to be very, very logical in that way. It's not emotional, right? It's business, right? Because at the end of the day, you're here to build a company that's going to, stand the test of time, so that you can go out there and sail off into the sunset and live the life that you have imagined. And that's why you guys are sacrificing here, and I really got to give you credit for that. You know, you wake up on a Saturday morning, you drive across town, you know, there's a million other things you'd be doing on Saturday morning with this beautiful weather, which finally cooled down, but you chose to come here. That really means something to me. You know, when I wake up in the morning, like this morning, I wake up and the first thing on my mind is you guys. And I'm like, I have to deliver because these guys are taking time away from their families. You know, and it's not just going through the motions. I mean, this is our life. You know, we don't get this time back. And so I want to deliver for you so that you can go out there, and I want this company to be the best company that it could be for you, right? That's my role as a leader. When things are not working, I take responsibility, you know, and I want to do something about it. You know, so that's how we feel right now, is how can we make everything better? Everything that we're doing right now on the leadership level, like what's going on behind closed doors, that's all we're doing. Like, well, we've been doing this. Is it being effective? No, then get rid of it. Let's do something else, right? How can we make this better? How can we make that form better? How can we make the presentation better? How can we make everything that we're doing, how can we make it better? Now, I want it to trickle down to you, and you look at your life, look at your business, right? And say, how can I make it better? How can I make my relationship with this person better, right? How can I make my relationship with my spouse better? How can I make my relationship with my kids better? Everything, look at everything and say, just how can I be better, right? And for this group, and not for any human being, but for this group, you have to live like your life matters, right? And know that it does, right? You know that your life matters. You know, this is bigger than just trying to close, you know, IUL sales and rollovers. Your life truly matters here. You know, you're really making a big impact. And so I want you to know that. You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go into, we're going to go into things that you really got to be focused on throughout your career that you got to master. And I'm going to go to the 7 fundamentals, but really what it comes down to is there's 4, right? 4 things that you really have to get down here if you're going to succeed at the highest level of success. Okay? Number 1, how to close a prospect, which is basically the ability to obtain a name and number. That Sarah goes and she's like, I talked to somebody, it was a 2-minute conversation, and I extracted a name and a number. That's a skill. Anybody can learn that, okay? You can do it online, you can do it offline, right? It's a skill. That is something that every one of us have to get down. I don't care what, you know, what you're doing, you have to get that skill down if you want to be relevant in business, okay? Next thing you have to master is your ability to set up an appointment. So if you get a name and number, right, and this is just personal, we're not even talking leadership here, I'm talking about you personally, is you now have to be able to call that person, hey, this is Sarah, I met you at Starbucks on Thursday, we had a 2-minute conversation, blah, 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 and then it leads to see you Thursday at 10 in the morning. Wow, Sarah set an appointment, okay? That's a skill. You got to get that down here, right? The other thing you have to master here is closing business, right? Or sales, right? Which is life and annuities. That means you have to know everything you possibly can about these 2 worlds with life and annuities so that you can go out there and position yourself, because at the end of the day, the only way that money is going to be flowing your way is when someone says, yes, Sarah, I'll move forward. Let's do it. All right, it's the only thing. Right? And I can like you and think you're the greatest conversation, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, Karlo, I just got a $10,000 deposit in my checking account because someone said, yes, let's move forward with that. That's a logical plan, and I see the value in that. you have to learn how to close business, okay? And fourth and final thing that you got to get really good at, and this is all personal, 4 personal things, we're not talking team, is building or recruiting, however you want to look at it. Building an agency, getting people to buy into your vision and say, you know what, Sarah, I'm going to follow you. I think what you're doing is great, and I think I can complement it. I like to be involved. Like, what's the next step? Those 4 things here are what you have to spend. This is what, you know, when we see LeBron James play on a Sunday NBA game, but what we don't see between Monday and Saturday is what he's doing is he's shooting free throws. He's at practice passing the ball, right? He's working on the fundamentals, right? When you're in the field, that is the equivalent of NFL Sunday or like, hey, it's game time when you're in the field. But what you're doing behind closed doors is you're shooting your own free throws, right? You're passing the ball, learning the fundamentals. How are you doing? You're working on those 4 things, right? These are, you know, like Thomas was talking about how he worked out this morning, right? What did you say? What did you say? You saw a snap?
Yeah, he was
He was taking this to the gun show, right?
it was like his muscles were coming out of the skin.
Right. But he's, you know, so working out, you know, when you work on your muscles, when you're working out, you're isolating certain body parts more than others. You know, same thing here is that a lot of people, they don't work out. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not working out, but yet they're, you know, and they're wondering why is my body not changing? Because you're not doing what needs to be done. Mm-hmm. And so know everything, right? These Saturday nights, Monday nights, Tuesday nights, conference calls, big events, webinars, right? All these great things that we're doing for you are not primary. They're secondary or supplementary to what?
Being on the field.
Exactly. The field is where it's at. I was talking to Michelle's husband because he's been getting a lot of experience. I've been taking him out in the field. And he's like, you know, he was like, one of my concerns is like I can't make it to the Monday nights or the Tuesday nights a lot or Saturdays because I also have my computer business. He's like, so all I could do is the field. I'm like, damn, let me show you something right now. All right, if you just focus on the field, you're gonna, you know, 1 hour in the field is like going to 10 weeks of VPMs. I was like, you'll smoke everybody just based on field experience because it's real hands-on, right? That's where you're gonna learn the most. So just focus on this. And he's like, man, I'm getting a lot of value. Now, he's starting to connect dots because last night he saw Mark Molina's webinar. Who saw that webinar, by the way?
That was good.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Really good.
You know, so we're trying to give you guys a lot more value with those webinars. Right? Next Friday's webinar is going to be off the chain because Dago's going to walk everybody to how he closed $100,000 in target premium for one company through one relationship through executive bonus plans. He's going to say, he's going to take everybody, like this was before and this is after and this is how I did it. Right? That's going to be valuable. So we want to, you know, I'm already getting great feedback is, wow, these webinars are valuable. Right? We want to give you good content that's going to help you build your business. You know, and so we want your feedback. You know, so I'm at a point right now where I want to hear from leaders is, hey, if we did this, it would make this better. You know, we're open to criticism, guys, right? That's what we want to know. Our desire for growth is more than our desire to always try to look good at everything we're doing, right? I need your feedback too. This is as much your company as it is mine. And so if you don't voice up, it doesn't get better, right? And so that's what I want to hear. But those webinars, that's why we kind of got rid of the conference call, because I just felt it wasn't valuable, and we said, you know, get rid of it. I don't want to meeting you guys to death, right? I think doing too much meetings is a waste of time, because meetings doesn't make us money, right? Being in the field. So 2 meetings a week with 1 webinar, I think that's sufficient. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Right? And that's what we're going to do. And what we're going to be doing a lot of training on is these 4 things. Right? Fast Start School is going to be Saturday, September 22nd. Right? I think I posted on the difference page. September 22nd, and we're also going to have advanced training. What we're going to be going over at advanced training this time is annuities. Right? We're going to go through our core products, right? How they work, how to put illustrations together, how to close them. Friday, September 14th, David Sanchez is coming down here. David Sanchez is he's an amazing producer in the field, in the schools. So he's gonna be here on Friday, September 14th, because in Yuma, I went to Yuma and we went to the school districts, there is no National Night Group there. Yuma is like, oh my gosh, it's like,
Blank canvas.
oh my gosh, yeah, understatement.
So
I feel like a kid in a candy store there, right?
So is
This
he gonna
is-
be in the offices that
They
day?
don't
He's
have
coming
anybody
here?
doing it?
There's no National Night Group presence at all. There's like one 403B company, and they're boring as all get out, right? So we're just like, I told the ladies there, I was like, we are going to take over the town, right? Like, this is how we're gonna do it. It's gonna be a takeover, right? It's a military coup. We're just gonna take over there. We're gonna infiltrate the city, you know? And we're gonna take over.
That's awesome.
Right? So we're already getting we got another school this Wednesday, but we're gonna have Lola and Elvia, right? And they're kind of working together. Elvia went to the district, we just opened up 23 schools,
Wow.
right? And so all they've been doing is going to the schools and setting up schools, so like boom, yeah, we can get together. So when I took Lola to the school this past Wednesday, she was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I was like, well, just watch what I do. And of course the teachers were just like, they didn't understand. Oh, I was like, hey, we got some free pizza for you guys. And they're like, oh, what's this about? You know, kind of skeptical. I was like, how's your retirement? I don't know too much about it. You know, so I just started explaining. I was like, here's what we do. We're going to teach you how your state pension works, right, so that you never run out of money in retirement. I was like, what if you can reduce your taxes, right, and still save that money for retirement? It doesn't affect your paycheck. Like, what? That's possible? Oh my gosh, okay, I want to know about that. Right? And they all started signing up after that. You know, and so Lola's like, okay, I need to learn how to say that. Right? I was like, that's kind of the field training process. And so now we just got follow-ups. So their confidence, like Yuma's really growing confidently right now, which we're very excited about. It's taken us, we've been there a year and a half. It's taking time. It takes time. But we see the fruits of our labor starting to really grow. And so Friday, September 14th, feel free to come, right? Friday's gonna be the best day. And I know some of you guys work, but if you can come here and it's just gonna be 403B training, right? Which is all about annuities, right? Right, it's all about annuities.
What time?
We're gonna start about 10. We're gonna go probably 10 to,
You'll be coming back from Kansas?
no, the 14th? No, you guys are going on the 19th,
Or
right?
on the 19th.
Oh, you're going on the night? I thought you guys were going
Yeah.
on the 14th.
So no, it's gonna be, the 14th, and it'll be from 10 to the latest 2. I'll
And the
probably bring
14th is Friday?
Friday, right?
So here all day?
Here. Not all day, just 10 to 2. Maybe you won't even go to 2, just kind of depends on when smoke starts coming out people's ears. Okay, this is a lot. But it's going to be good, right? Because this is something like for you, we'd love to duplicate up in Riverside, right? I guarantee you there's not a presence up there for National Life Group. And the 403B market is an introduction to even other things that we can be doing, right? So, just some things that we're working on. Obviously, we got the big event, Saturday, October 6th, okay, at the Hilton Bayfront. If you haven't registered to do so, make sure that you do. We're going to be really marketing heavily, right? You know, Enrique, he's going to be working with Dago. We are really, by this Friday, you're going to see a huge shift already in the back office. Okay, we have some deadline dates. That's going to be really, we got a lot of content. What we're going to do with our new website, which is really starting to look good, and with Sarah's fiance, I shared with him in the Marine Corps, we're going to optimize our website so we have 24/7 lead generation, right? So people say, I can't make it to Tuesday or Monday night or Saturday morning. Send them to our website. We're going to capture their email for you, and they're going to watch the BPM. So we're going to have a 24/7 BPM all the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ain't that awesome, right? So we're going to be doing this stuff. So with the great back office, optimizing our website, you know, we're going to really take our digital presence to a whole new level within the next 90 days. So I'm really, really excited. How do you guys feel about that?
Good.
So good changes are coming, guys. We're working really hard right now. You know, I'm pushing everything and everyone around me. I'm pushing up, I'm pushing to my size, I'm pushing everybody, because right now it's like my dad used to always say that, you gotta get while the getting is good. You gotta get while the getting is good. You know, and he used to tell me this when I was a kid. I never could really connect the dots until I was older, because he'd always say, like, he'd tell me in Spanish, but he'd say, you know, he'd be like, son, I don't ask God for much, right? I'm not a welfare person. I don't like handouts, right? All I ask God is just put me where it's at, and I'll go get it myself. And I see that with our opportunity. We're gonna put you where it's at. Like, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit. Now you gotta go get it though. It's not gonna come to you, you have to go get it, right? And is there a lot to be gotten right now? Yes. And the more that you go out there and you share our story and you get feedback from the people that you're sitting with, you're gonna be like, oh my God. There's a shift that happens in this business that when you sit down with someone and you truly realize that these people need what I'm offering more than I need them to make money. You understand? Once you really internalize that, everything shifts. Because there's a little transition that happens with most of you that you're too concerned with rejection and what they think of you, but you don't realize that you have the keys to the kingdom. Right? And so you're still looking at you're looking at this relationship like you feel that maybe I'm taking something from them, right, versus giving them. Once you realize that what I'm giving them is way more valuable than what I'm taking from them, you're like, this is the easiest business in the world to talk to people. Does that make sense? You got to get there. Okay? Now I can't give that. I can give you some belief in here, but I can't give it to you out there. You have to experience that for yourself. Only the field does that for you, not the trainings, right? Now the training, I was telling Dan, you know, it's like if our business was a swimming school, and like, oh, you know, the training is so good, and it's like, you know, you guys come in here on Mondays, full-timers, Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Saturday mornings, and I put on the board, these are all the strokes on how to swim. We have breaststroke, side stroke, this is how you tread water, right? The water temperature has to be this way, and you're like, wow, I'm learning a lot about swimming, but at some point or another, you got to get your ass in the water and start swimming. If you really want to learn it. It's the same thing with what we're doing here, right? We can teach you, this is what, if they say this, say that. This is how the product works, this is how that works, but none of it is going to matter until you put it to work. You with me? Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to talk about today. The 7 fundamentals of difference, right? DFIS, Difference Financial Insurance Services, that makes success virtually certain. And the key is mastering them, not just getting good. Right? What do we mean by that?
Being able to do it so good your body knows how to do it better than your mind.
Oh, you can listen to some Joe Dispenza, man, right? That is a habit, by the way, right? According to Joe Dispenza, is that you become so good at something that your body knows how to do it even better than your mind. That is what a habit is, right? When it's mastery. And that's how you get good at. I get a lot of people sometimes like, Karlo, I want to learn about this one, and they get addicted to learning. And learning is great. We love learning, right? But because school teaches us to memorize, the way that we're wired by subconsciously is just to learn always. We always want to learn new information. And that's the problem with our academic system right now in the information age, is that we're producing degrees, bachelor's degrees and master's degrees, and these kids are coming out and they know a lot, but they don't do what they know. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, you know a lot, but you get results as if you know nothing. What's going on here? How come you know so much, but get results? How come the paper says you're so smart, but you get results as if you're so stupid?
Right.
Right? What's going on with our system, right? And so for us, it's about mastery. We're going to repetitively drill the same thing over and over again, you know. And like Will Smith, one thing that Will Smith made him a great actor is like, I beat my craft. That was his words. You have to beat your craft. And this is why I don't like the entrepreneur. I shouldn't say I don't like. I get why people do this. But how many times do you meet an entrepreneur is like, hey, I have an online business, I have a real estate business, I also do mortgages, I also do property and casualty, I also do this. I'm like, bro, you're the jack of all trades, but you're the master of none. Right? You're trying to be great at everything, but you're not even good at all of them, because I only want to be known for one thing, right? I want to be the best insurance agent on the planet. That's my niche. That's what I want to master, right? In this business, when it comes to life and annuities, talk to Karlo, because that is all that dude does, and he knows it better than anybody, right? And so I'll get realtors and mortgage people like, hey man, if you guys want to learn mortgages, maybe we can get you in the split. Like, I'll refer you people. I don't want to cut on it. I don't need anything on it, right? I just want to focus on this, right? When I refer them to a mortgage person, I want to refer them to someone that just masters mortgages. When I refer them to a realtor, I just want someone that does. I don't want the jack of all trades person. Does that make sense? Nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur, but I'm not going to add to my platform until I master this. Right? But when you're doing 10 things at once, you're not going to win because you're doing too many things at once. Right? And this business alone, how much focus does it require? A lot. So the key is mastering and not just getting good. Good is the enemy of great. Becoming great is what allows you to earn big money. No one is going to pay you big money to be good. Is that true? Think about it. No one's going to pay you big money, right? I want to talk to the pro. I want to talk to someone that knows what they know. And so you want to learn these fundamentals in order, these 7. Right? So number 1 is you got to, like we said, master prospecting. One thing all greats in our industry have is they are relentless prospectors. Best person in the game right now is Gail Young. Because she's relentless, right? And I love the word. What does relentless mean?
Doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop. It's just like Energizer Bunny, man. It just keeps going and going.
I see Michelle like
Right?
all over that,
Right?
meeting people all the time.
I see that, right? And that's what I'm saying. That's something I challenge her because we have one of the greatest prospectors and we have one of the greatest producers, right? I told Michelle, just turn on that prospecting machine because your production game is on point. You know, and once she turns on that prospecting machine, what she does, it's going to be easy for her. Because she has become one of the top producers of the company and not even being a great prospector. So that means like the little, she makes a lot out of a little. So imagine when she starts putting a lot more in the pipeline. Does that make sense? And I told her that, right? That's where it's like you just turn on that faucet and you're going to see, you're going to start building wealth, dude. You're going to crush it. I told you that. You know it.
She already is. She already has.
All right?
that.
I know. Well, she's got her, she got her number 1 recruit on board now for her husband.
Dude,
Right?
there's no bars now. That dude is on fire. He sees the
He
lights.
sees it, right?
He sees.
But I gotta check her too, because she'll say some comments. She's like, "Yes, now I can retire." And I was like, "Michelle, I will come here and drag your ass out of this house. Don't even think about it. You're too valuable to this game, right?" But master prospectors and always looking to add great people to their teams. And I want to spend a few moments with you on this. Going back to how I started today's meeting is using your head versus your heart. Now, I'm just saying, I love who I am, right? I love people. Sometimes I've learned this to a fault. It's one of my weaknesses. It's my strength is also my weakness. Because sometimes I love people too much that I have devoted more time than I probably should have to a situation that took me out of the field, right? So it's like there's a Mother Teresa side of me, and then the Bill Gates side of me says, hey, I get it, you can help people, but we got to put rent up, dog, right? We got to we got bills we got to pay. Like, oh, you're right. And so that's something for some of you also probably struggle with that. And looking to add great people is with the people that I want to work with. If you find yourself having to convince, stop wasting your time. I didn't have to convince Thomas, I didn't have to convince Chris, I didn't have to convince Michelle, I didn't have to convince Gail, I didn't have to convince Isaac. Right? I didn't have to convince these people. They saw an opportunity, they struck it. They're like, I'm in, let's go. Right? If you find yourself with people like, well, you know what, I want to think about it, I just take it away. I said, if you got to think about it, I'll be honest with you, this is probably not for you. Right? And that was been my takeaway. I'm kind of looking for people that can see a good opportunity right when they can spot a good opportunity right when they see it. And so be careful you're not pulling dead weight. Does that make sense? That's very important. And I want to look at what is the kind of person that you want to add to your team. The person that wants to be here here's the identity of the person. I want to own my own business, Karlo. I want to work for myself. Right? That's the kind of person that you say, I've been looking for you because I have something for you if you're open-minded. Right? You're not looking for the person that's like, well, I'm going through a lot right now, but because here's probably the biggest challenge is sometimes if you are trying to attract people who need more help than the business can do for them. Does that make sense? So if you're trying to get someone like, hey, you know, this person's going through a lot, they're going through a divorce, they're going through a real tough time right now, I think the business would be great. Like,
No,
Right.
definitely not.
no.
No.
And I know some of you faith-based people, that's what I'm saying. That's where, when you're faith-based, I was like, look, that person needs church, they don't need business. Right? Learn to separate the two. Okay? Because you're going to find that person in your business seeing you more as a spiritual counselor versus a financial advisor. And that's gonna rob you of your most precious resource, which is what? Time. Right? Time. I need people, you're looking for people who are like, I'm already pretty stable emotionally, financially, I just want to get higher. I need to take my life to another level. Right? So really be conscious of that. And this is why you have to work on your identity. Because if you have a high identity, you're going to look for high identity people. Right? If you have a low identity because you're still struggling emotionally with certain things, then you are look at the people who are around you. Look at your conversations, right? Is this making sense? Mm-hmm. Right? Again, I'm trying to look at this from your head, not from your heart. I want you to get that. So you're looking to add great people and develop them into I should highlight that, put that in bold, right? Independent leaders. Independent. Right? Look at Isaac Salgado, right? Independent. I don't have to spend time with Isaac that much anymore, right? I'm more of a leverage tool for him. And so we're right now as leaders, right? And I'm talking to leaders here, is if you have more than one person on your team, you need to be in communication with that person at least every 24 to 48 hours. If you have one, right? We're at a point in size now that this guy, I cannot reach out and touch everybody anymore. I can't. And that used to be my calling. That's my strength. I love to build relationships with the team, right? I love to kind of lock people in. But the indoctrination process cannot be my sole responsibility anymore. The indoctrination process must now be, if you have a teammate, be like, hey, let's get together for coffee. Let me take you to lunch. And as a leader, that's why you have to keep your lifestyle, because if you can't afford to take your new teammate to coffee or go grab a bite to eat, you know, that's not going to be good either. Right? Take them to a bite to eat. Build a relationship. Your first few 3-4 interactions with your new business partner who's here should not be like, hey, this is how you're going to make money, this is how you're going to close business. Should be like, hey, Sarah, tell me about you. How did Sarah become Sarah? Tell me about your background. Tell me about your family. Tell me where you're from. Tell me how you came to be where you be. What are your goals and what are your dreams? What are you trying to accomplish in your life? Right? And once she tells me that, I'm going to say, okay, let me tell you a little bit about me. How I came to be me. Right? And why I'm here and what I'm trying to do with my life and what I'm trying to achieve. Because difference is nothing more than you learning the goals and dreams of your people and them learning yours. That's really it when it comes to our relationships.
And very non-judgmentally.
Yes. Good point. And being non-judgmental, right? Being non-judgmental, because you have to allow, and I said that on the video yesterday, biggest thing as a leader is allow people to be who they are. This is not the place to be like, you need to change, you need to stop being this way, right? And be this way. Allow people to be who they are, because if you allow people to be who they are, that's where trust is formed. Right? That's where true trust is, because people feel like, wow, I can be myself. Doesn't mean that you need to compromise your values. Right? Doesn't mean any of that. It just means to be who you are. This is the no judgment zone. Right? As long as you're doing ethical, it doesn't compromise integrity, character, treating people right. I don't care what you do. Right? I'm going to love you. Right? And that's the big thing, is how do you love on your people? How do you live? What is a way that you love on your people here? What are some strategies for that?
EPR,
EPR,
What is that?
Chris?
encourage, praise, and recognize.
Yes. This is one of the most valuable skills that you'll learn as an independent leader is EPR, which is encourage, praise, and recognize. Okay? Encourage. I'm always pouring into people.
You are the best.
Right? But this is why this is something that I do strategically. I do it because I love it. It's a skill. I do it with my kids, I do it with my wife, I do it with my business partners, I do it with my parents, I do it with everybody. And I don't overdo it, and I don't underdo it. You gotta play with it, right? And I always give credit where credit is due. Who do we start out this morning to edify? Thomas. We just encouraged, we praised his behavior, we recognized it publicly, right? As a leader, always use a platform to push up others. This is where you have to put cement in your relationships with people here, right? Leaders here are servant leaders. Your people don't work here for you. You remember, as a leader, you work for them. My team is my boss. That's how I look at it. You guys are my boss. I work for you. That's what a good leader is. And it's always our team, not my team. Our team, right? Not mine. Oh, my team, my team. No, it's our team. Because it takes more than just your talent for that team to be successful. Right? So you have to, good leaders do that. And you have to be able to, like John Maxwell says, is you got to know how, you got to know how to set yourself, how to set your people on fire so everyone can come and watch them burn. You with me? That's what leaders do, and that's something that I feel in this group we've got to get better at. That's why you got to work on your own identity, because keep in mind, if you're still struggling with things that you're afraid about and fear, then it's crippling you from advancement. And you can only take people to the level that you're at. That's it. And if you're still struggling with certain things, then you realize that the people that you're trying to lead, you can't take them any higher because you've took them to a level that you're stuck at a certain level and you're not going to get any higher. Now, the beauty is that there's leverage. You can put them in front of other high identity leaders in the company, but we don't have a lot. So that's the beauty. That is the blessing of difference right now, and it's also our greatest challenge. Our greatest challenge right now is that we do not have enough leaders stepping into their greatness. In the practice company, we were talking about this at the leadership meeting the other day. If I was a crappy leader, people will still stay because I had so many good leaders around me to be the leverage point, right? We had so many around us. That's not the case here yet. That's not. And so if you're not a good enough leader, your people will leave because they're not getting the nutrition, right? And so that's a reality check for you, is that if your people are not following you. Now let me get real with you, right? And that's something that needs to happen at these leadership levels, right? Let me tell you something that you need to do. And this is very important. This is hard for a leader to do, but it's very important. If I was, right, like Gail, Michelle, right, those of you that are starting to build teams, right, and I leave it open to people that are directing me to, and I've always said is, I would have an honest conversation with your key people and say, and you got to take it like a champ. Where am I struggling at? Where do I suck at, and what do I need to get better to help you and this team win? That takes courage, right? That takes courage. Trust me, behind closed doors, right? I'm also very direct with our CEO. Right? Hey, I need this, and here's what needs to get better, and he tells me too. Right? But that's for behind closed doors conversation. We're human beings now. If someone tells you something like, Erica, you know what? If I'm on Erica's team, and I say, you know what? I just don't think that you're good enough here in this area, and this is where I'm struggling. I feel like I can't get this from you. And so that's a hard thing to hear as a leader, but I'd rather hear it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because it lets me know, it's like, why aren't they buying into me? Right? What am I not giving them to take it to the next level? And it's not personal, it's just what?
Business.
Exactly. Now, if you get emotional, because you react, right? And sometimes the truth hurts, right? But the truth is the truth, right? The truth is the truth, and sometimes I needed to hear that. So I want people, like, the truth is, once you know, like, my people are not following me because I'm not good enough to take them to the next level yet. That's a good reality check for me to wake up, okay. right? Don't like hearing that, but it is what it is. See it for what it is. What do I have to work out within myself, my own belief systems, my thinking, my habits to get myself to the next level? Does that make sense? That's how we got to do, because just like in this room is the only people that can take us higher in this room is not outside people, is the people in this room. So you're hurting people. If Thomas is my mentor and Thomas is like, hey Karlo, what could I do to be better? Hey bro, you're good, man. I like everything you're doing, right? But then on the side I'm like, bro, Thomas, like he really needs to like show you think Thomas needs to work on that. I don't feel like we're getting that from Thomas, right? Or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But why didn't I tell him that when he asked me? Oh, because I didn't want to hurt his feelings. But I'm gonna go tell someone else about it. Right? And so nothing changes. Does that make sense? I want absolute directness, right? Remember, our desire for growth should be bigger than our egos here. Right? This is one of the greatest skills you'll learn as a leader. I'm learning it now as a parent. I have a 6-year-old. Right? My 6-year-old, I was like, I had to look at my wife, it's like, I feel like I'm married to 3 women in here. Right? I was like, I can only handle one. Because my 6-year-old is like, she's accountability. And her love language is quality time. And so she's like, Daddy, we're going to go on a date, because I take them on a date. And, I said her something, not in a sense to shut her up, but just to like, calm her down. I was like, I want to take you on a date before you start school. And yesterday, we took her to buy uniforms, and school starts like in 2 weeks. And she was just like, came in this long face, and I was like, what? She's like, I'm upset at you. And I was like, what did I do?
Zoe or
Zoe. And I was like, why? She's like, you promised me you were going to take me on a date. We have it. I was like, whoa. Right, Chris and I were talking about this, right? And I was like, I'm being held accountable, and I was like,
By a 6-year-old.
by a 6-year-old.
Oh yeah, they are tough. 2-year-olds are tough.
And I know, right? And it's like, I remember when I, you know that age when you realize that, because when you grow up, your parents are like gods. And then you know how you get to that point where there's, some people do it younger than others, where you realize like, my parents are just as screwed up as everybody else, right? Remember that when you realize your parents are not the perfect people that you thought they were? And so my sister was big at holding my dad accountable. Like just check it in a family like gathering, like just tell him like you're not good at this and you need to change this about yourself. Like hearing that from your child is like ouch. And I remember my dad just being like, just took it, but she was absolutely right. She was absolutely right. So that's something as leaders, right? My point is leaders have to get good at taking what? Criticism. How well do you handle criticism? And if you get too emotional, that is your weakness. That is a huge weakness to a leader. If someone tells you like it is and you're just like, well, you know what? You start defending. Leaders should not defend. Leaders should be like, okay, I understand your concern. And here's what I want to do to fix it, right? Because now it's non-emotional. Leaders have to clear the debris in a non-emotional way. You with me? I beat that because it's work collectively at a level some of you are stuck at, right? And I know because I was stuck there too. And creating those open lines of communication is so healthy, right, in a relationship. Okay, it's so healthy in a relationship, right? Communication always equals your level of success. How good are you at communicating? And I like closure because if I felt like if Michelle's one of my teammates and I felt a little tension, I got to clear that up. I can't just be like, whatever, I'm not dealing with Michelle right now. Right? Because Michelle, right, is like, she's one of the top players. So you got to look at it, right? And that's what I'm saying is that you got to look at who you're working with in your team. Best way to prospect is your hot, warm, and cool markets, right? And understanding now that prospecting is, I hope you guys are really getting keen, is where are we separating from the Primericas and the WFGs and all these other companies that are mostly hardcore MLM, is that so many people they've just blown their warm market out of the water because they've tried to recruit everyone they ever meet. Stupid move. Don't ever do that in your business, right? How should you talk to the people that you know? Education, right? Educate them. That's the beauty of our business, is that once you realize, like, I don't really have to pressure anyone to do anything. I don't have to say, you should say yes to this, you should do this. I've never had to do that. I say, Erica, let me show you what I do and how we educate people, right? This is how we've helped a lot of people. Let me show you what we do here. Company or concept or compensation. Does any of this interest you, Erica? Yes, it does. Great. No, it doesn't. Great. Thank you for listening. Did you get some financial education? Yes, I did. Right? Great. Perhaps you can be a referral source for us and other people that can benefit from this. Once you detach from that outcome of trying to make people do something, then you realize you're free. It's so freeing, guys. That's why I have no problems talking to people, because I realize, like, we're looking for people looking for us. That's it. But if I feel from you, right, and this is where sales is really evolving, if you are like pounding into people, you know, you should do this because this is going to be good for you, you got to get this going, I'm going to be very resistant. I'm going to be like, I don't need to do anything, right? And even though I see that it's good, the reason I don't want to do it is because you're telling me that I have to do it. And people just don't respond well to that. You know what people like to be? Empowered. And they like to be free to make their own choice. You have to create the space to empower them and give them freedom and personal space to make their own choice. All you have to do is ask the question. That's it.
And not just expect them to do it your way because you believe is the right way.
Yeah. And what I'm looking for you, here's what people do. They try to test you.
This is so personal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It ain't personal. It's just business. Right? But they try to test you. You're going to have difficult people, difficult personalities. You're going to have to navigate through people like that. If I see someone that has a difficult one, because I meet difficult people, and one of the best things I love to do with difficult personalities is not reacting kind to their energy. Oh, it's one of my best, like my best, like I look forward to that. I relish in it almost. When someone's like trying to be difficult or a hard ass or like, you know, they try to out-tone me, you know what I'm talking about? Or they're just difficult. Big ego, right? I just sit there quiet, like I don't even change my body, you know, I'm like. So, perhaps you can refer me to someone who is serious about it. Right? Because the best thing to do when someone is trying to take your power away is to really, through energy, let them know that they have no power here. Once you get that, you're free. The biggest thing that emotional people do that are not strong with their head is they always give their power away. Right? Now, I'm human, right? Chris was here yesterday. I was on the phone with National Western Life, and the worst customer service rep I think I've ever gotten there. I was like, I need this. I'm trying to get this for my client because she needs her money. She's like, well, sir, our process is this. I'm like, I understand this is your process, but I'm asking you to work with me here for the benefit of my client. She's like, sure, I understand that, but it's our process, right? Just really rude. I'm like it was her money.
Yeah, I got one of those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I'm about to
gonna
punch you
slap
through this
you.
phone, dude, right?
It's like
I know
calling
Chris.
VA.
So I was like, all right, I'm done, bye, right? And Chris was like, man, right? Because he understood, man, because it takes a lot for me to lose my patience, but I lost my patience, you know?
I know.
And like,
It wasn't a lot, bro. You
No.
were like, it was like talking to a wall, bro. I was getting that. I was like, what the hell's wrong with that lady, bro? She was a straight robot, like, you know, and she wasn't even trying to help, but that's why people make $10 an hour.
One
So-
time I said, I am gonna hang up now, and I'm gonna call back, and I'm gonna hope to get somebody else on the phone. It's not so
So I
good.
do that one too.
oh yeah, just, no, you know, you realize like, okay,
Right.
I'm not gonna get what I'm gonna get from this person next, right? Anyhow. So, I just want you to know that it's okay to talk. If this is good enough for you, why isn't it good enough for the people you know? You know? And I think that's the biggest fear for somebody is like, I don't want, and I get it, it was the same for me, I don't want, you know, to bring Dago over to my family's house and this reflect poorly on my relationship with my family or my friends? That someone says, bro, you work with that guy? Like, ugh. Like, I don't know about that company, man. Like, he was really pushy. You work with people like that? That was my fear. You know, and so my peace of mind with the new associate is like, that will never happen. If anything, I'm going to strengthen your relationship with that person. And I feel very confident about that. You need to be that kind of person because people buy confidence. Right? So if I'm brand new and I'm like, oh, I'm nervous, you know, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but Sarah's training me, she's like, look, Karlo, you don't worry about nothing, just put me in front of him, I got it from here, I'm going to take care of you, trust me, this is going to go smooth, flying colors, brother. I'm like, oh, well, thank you for that vote of confidence, because now I feel even more confident because she's leading me. If you don't make your people feel that way, they're not going to take you in the field. If they're like, you know what, I don't know if I should take her or him because I just don't feel their confidence. That's why they're not taking it, right? So this is why I live in the field, because the best field trainers are the best requested, right? And that's what I know. Like I tell, like, you want to win, take me in the field, because I'm good, right? It's not cocky. I wanted you to get good results. But the reason I'm the best field trainer because I also do the most field training. That's all. Not difficult. So your hot new work now. Number 2 best way to prospect is your new associates hot warming cool market. Okay, your new associates, right? But your new associates hot warming cool market, right? So for me, for example, like Sarah, graduated fast start school, she's already put me in front of her sister, right? And she kind of prefaced me in the morning. She's like, look, my sister's this way. I was like, Sarah, just put me in front of everybody. Check this out. And we now have a follow-up, because we need to follow up with all my follow-up because of the education. You know, and so now her confidence is growing up because she's like, okay, I see how we are going in the field and doing this, and it's actually helpful, right? Like Michelle's husband, his confidence is going up because he's like, man, when we go on the field, we actually get results, right?
And he's starting to ask me questions finally now.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah.
So you know what I'm
So
saying?
utilizing Karlo is a great asset.
Well, it's leverage, right? Because I realize, right, even with my wife, guys, right? You know, even on the leader, I took her on the field, and even then, she was not being a good trainee. You know? She was just like, well, show her this part. Like, just show her. I was like, babe, let daddy drag. You know, and because that's my spouse, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you always, I don't care who you are and how big you are, right? You know, it's like I'm the leader here in this office, but when I go home, you know, it's like, are you gonna throw out the trash? Because I asked you like 3 times already, right? Like, damn, at home you're the R&D, you know. I'm just a good associate. I'm in her world, right? But I love her, man. So, but my point is that my new associates market is a great market to build in for my new associate, because she's not there yet. She's going to be. So the way is that we build here is like we have a brand new top 25 list. All she has to do is set the appointments and let the leader do the work. But the leader, right, the mentor, is going out there sharing our story and saying, you know what, this is good. Yeah, how would you like to get this going? Yes. The leader is building their new associate's business. Does that make sense? And that is the role of a leader. The role of the leader is to get results for their teammates. You with me? Your personal results are for yourself, right? But you should never your teammates should never feel like you're using them for your own benefit. If they feel that way, they're either going to quit or they're not going to come to you for help. So you always have to let them know, look, when I go out there in the field and someone comes on board, it's going to be for your benefit, because I'm here to help you build your team. I'm here to help you get the experience. It's very important to do that. That's the role. If your people win, you win. So what I look at a team is, if ever comes down to, is like, man, we just wrote business. My first inclination is, how can I get my teammates money first, and then I'll get money second. Right? Help your teammates make money. Right? Help your teammates get all the success. Right? Help your teammates get all the accolades. Get them everything that they can. In a sense, you're going to feel like you're almost doing it for them. But you don't realize you're also doing it for you. Because if Michelle wins and Gail wins and Chris wins, if you guys all win, I win. If you don't win, then I don't win. So let's get you the win first. Let's get Sarah making money first. Let's prove the process first. And I'll win later because now I have a leader. Right? That's all I do with Isaac, right? That's all I do with Gail, is just spend time with them. Okay, now you start doing this yourself. I'll collect my override. Right? But now I have an independent leader. Prospect as you go, right? This is something that you guys start doing. This is, I think, Gail, what she does is she always prospects as she goes. You know, I've gone out with some of you and I'm like, are you prospecting your waiter or your waitress, right? I'm not saying you need to talk to everybody. Okay? I'm very selective. I'm looking for high identity people. But sometimes I'm blown away by the service I'll get from a waiter or waitress. I'm like, wow, that was really good. Great customer service, great smile, great energy. That's somebody I like to work with, right? That kind of personality type, that confidence. I'm going to talk to that person about this. Like, hey, I'm just watching the way you interact with people. Do you ever keep your options open? You might catch them off guard, like, yeah. You know, because I run a company and I'm looking for people like you. What do you do? I teach people how money works. Everybody needs help with that, right? Yeah, look, I don't know if it's, and I take it away, I don't know if it's going to be a fit for you. But if you'd be open to have a cup of coffee, let's just build a relationship. And then from there we'll determine if it makes sense to get together again. People are always open for that. And that script, you just do it all over and over again. It's in the words of our business webinar. So prospecting you mean through your everyday trials. The key is to be disciplined, right? You got to Gail this thing. Right? And that's one thing I really respect about Gail, right? Is, you know, Gail is like, what do you call it? Just a
machine.
She's a machine that's broken. It's just like a nuclear missile with a messed up computer, you know. It's just like, we can't shut it off, you know. It's just going to keep going and going and going and going. And that's a muscle that she's built. It's her strength, right? It's what she's really good at. This is what I'm asking you to do too. And it's not difficult, you know. And again, if you're scared to talk to somebody, I think you're being selfish. Because you're worried about your own feelings instead of the benefit of how it might help this person's life. It's not about you. You're just a messenger. Right? Think about what you're denying somebody because of fear. I don't want to talk to Linda because if she rejects me, I'm going to feel really bad. But you don't realize that Linda's barely struggling to make ends meet, and all she really wants is just to do something for her family. But I'm not going to talk to her because what if she rejects me? I'm going to feel too bad. It's going to ruin my day. That's selfish. I'm sorry. You're hurting people because of your own ego and your own pride. Get out of your way. It's about them, not you, right? Now, if I tell her and I say, look, you want to change your life? You want to get out of debt? You want to do something and do something great? And she says, you know, Karlo, I'm not thirsty. There's nothing that you can do about that. Hey, at least I asked, right? Mm-hmm. So she can't say now, well, there's just no opportunities out there, you know. I was like, are you sure? Right? You guys getting value from this?
Yes. Absolutely.
So, your focus is look for people that are interested in making more money, owning their own business, and becoming financially free. Like, these are the hungry people in our society right now. People right now this is an entrepreneurial gold rush right now. And I find this in this demographic probably more than others, women. I don't know what's up with women right now, right? But women are really answering the call like they never have at any point in our history of I think in the history of ever. Women, man. Women right now is, I go to Yuma and our whole team, like I see the whole crowd, for the exception of me and Isaac, are women. And I would say it's not that we just only sit with women. We sit with probably with everybody, but I see women like, yes, I want more. Yes, I want to grow. Yes, I want to do something better for my kids. But these women want to own their own business. That's what I'm saying. I find that a trend. So you have to ask that. You ever thought about owning your own business? Yes. I just don't know anything about that. Well, I know how to do that. Right? Becoming financially free. People want to do that. The best market is the building. Now, going back to this is don't take any appointments. And this is difficult. Because I made this mistake is your trainees will come to you, Michelle, can you do Thursday at 6? Yeah, let's go. I'll do it Thursday at 6. You didn't question anything. So like, where's it at? Oh, here's the address. It's across town, right? You're like, okay, it's going to take me 40 minutes to get there because it's traffic, but I'll be there. And then you go sit there in that appointment and you realize that had nothing to do with that market. And you're like, oh my gosh, why did I take this appointment? Wasted. It was a complete waste of your time. Gas money, waste of hot air, right? It just was a complete waste of your time. And again, because we're thinking with our heart, not with our head, right? And so for me, when a trainee says to me, Karlo, can you do Thursday at 5? My first question is, sure. Is it a qualified appointment? What do you mean? Is it married? Are they homeowners? 25 to 35, right? Or older? Do they have kids? Do they have an income? Right? Even income over 40K. Why is that important in San Diego?
Because then they have something to invest.
So you can save money, right? Are they living in, right? I like this one here, living in the area 2+ years, why? Because they have a market, they have a network.
Established.
They're established, right? That's a qualified appointment. I'm reinforcing the Dan Franklin because he's taken me to such good appointments. Good, I'm talking established business owners, people that got money, you know, and it's like, you know, not to, it's lack of a better term, it's like taking candy from a baby. Because I'm just sharing the story, and people are like, oh, you know what, yes, I want that, yes, I've been needing something like that. I don't know, it's not like having to pry, you know. When I talk to people who are not in this market, they're just like, and I realize because they struggle with the broke mentality or scarcity, for them to see something like investing is like going to the planet Jupiter, you know. It's just way too far-fetched. And I want to help those people, but some people, you can't unplug them from the matrix, unfortunately. They're too immersed. You know, I'm looking for people that are looking for us, right? Does that make sense? Again, I mean that with all love in my heart, but again, if I do it with my heart, I'm going to be broke, right? Consistent prospecting leads to appointments, recruit, sales, income, and ultimately success. So, if you master prospecting, it will give you everything you want in business and in life. That's a great line right there. Okay. All right. Number 2. If you don't master setting appointments, you will constantly be frustrated because without appointments, you can't recruit anyone or close sales. Right. This is probably where right now I think one of the biggest glitches in most people's businesses is that they have a market, they just don't know how to get in front of that person. Or you personalize the process too much, right? And the person with the most appointments wins. Why?
The battles went out in the field.
Yeah. Because think about this, right? Appointments are where
You build a muscle of your business.
Yep, you build the muscles, right? It's where answers become reflexive, right? It's where confidence is built. It's where, as an associate, as a trainee, you know what the biggest thing that a trainee needs to experience?
Success.
They need to see, it's such a thing like when you see skeptic go to believer. Whew, right? Did that make a difference in your confidence when you see skeptics turn into believers? Right? Because really, when you're taking out a new trainee, so if Michelle's my new associate and she bought in, the biggest mistake that a trainer can think is, okay, Michelle, let's go sit with your sister. And the trainer thinks, okay, so this is a skeptical person, the sister. No, you still have 2 skeptical people. What? But Michelle's in. No, she's not. Michelle is in until she realizes she doesn't want to be in. So she's still seeing this out. She's like, let me see how this goes. Because if my sister shuts us down and be like, you're doing this, you know, I just lost both of them. Mm-hmm. So I have to, right? That's why I love the field, because the trainer has a lot of pressure to perform. Because if I can let Michelle's sister know, just give me a hypothetical, and she goes like, I've heard of these companies, no thank you, like, and I say, okay, well hold on, let me just share with you, and then I overcome those objections, like, wow, this is better, this is different, now her belief goes up. She's gonna be like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you just did that for me. And you'll have trainees that will say this to you, right? I was telling Sarah this. This could be normal, because, you know, when you're the trainer, be like, Erica, so we're gonna go sit with my brother real quick. Before we sit with my brother, God bless his heart. You know, he's really difficult. He might be a little confrontational. He's pretty negative sometimes. I just want to prepare you, right? I get stuff like trainees like this all the time. I'm like, you know what, just put me in front of me. You know, and because I'm going to allow people to be who they are. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to personalize it, right? I'm not going to take it personal at all. You can be who you are. Cuss, scream, yell, I don't care. kick me out of your house, right?
Don't even let you in the door.
I haven't even asked him on an appointment since then because I'm so.
I went to an appointment with Linda, right? I went to an appointment with Linda, and
When I
she's
first
like, she
started.
set up a training appointment. I walked in the house, and the lady was just like, get out.
She didn't talk to the boss of the house.
I didn't talk to the boss, I talked to the husband.
So then at the end,
And I lived there at the time.
Linda comes down, she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, Linda, it's all good, buddy. Right? I've been doing this a long time.
You know, when I went up to San Maria to visit my brother, and I was determined to show my sister-in-law Lupe the presentation, and so she looked at it, and my brother saw it made more sense to him. So he doesn't really see it for himself right now, but he's looking at it going, oh, we gotta tell the kids about this. We gotta tell my nephews about this. They need to start saving now for their future. And I'm like, I
Duh.
told you.
It's only time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It takes time. But these are where the muscles are built, guys. Like, you notice that the biggest things is obviously you're going to learn how to close sales, but the more appointments you do. And that's always going to be when I see someone that is not making money here, I'm just going to say, how's your prospecting, how's your appointments? And those are typically where you're suffering at. And those are skills that can easily be mastered, but I say, most people major in minor things. Like, what are you doing during your week? And you're either on appointments or you're setting them. That's all you should be doing. Get that muscle down first. Now, Karlo, teach me the products. Like, why should we teach you the products when you're just going to go and you know them, but you don't know how to share them? Right? Gail, right, was setting a lot of appointments and she didn't even know the products. Because she was leveraging a lot, but she learned how to set appointments. And that's why she built a team, okay? So, do you phone zone? How many calls are you making a day? So that's a question you gotta check yourself on. How many phone calls do you make per day? And how well do you know the scripts? There's 3 scripts you gotta learn here. The help me script, the invitation script, and the 3 good quality script. Those are also in the Words of Our Business webinar. The help me script, the invitation script, and the 3 good quality script. And you have to master them to the point where you no longer need them because they're just second nature. And I know for a fact this is really where the biggest growth pain is in this team right now. If we looked at our system like a machine, which it is, where there's a paper jam in the feeder is in the part of your system where you have a name and a number and making that phone call and getting that in converted. That's where you're broken because of emotions. You're too emotional about a person saying no, right? And what you're denying yourself is the greatest gift that you started a business is total freedom because of an emotion. Check your emotions, work on your emotions so that you can unemotionalize this very ridiculous process of somebody saying no to you. It's not that difficult, guys. Let me prove it to you, right? Chris has got a, Godfather voice over here, right? Chris, say no.
No.
Say it like a machine gun, right?
No, 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 no,
No.
Right? Keep going, bro. Right?
No. No.
Give me the loudest no you got.
No.
Yikes.
Ouch.
Is there blood coming out of your
No, like that.
Is my heart still beating?
Yes.
Am I gonna be okay? I'm not dead, right?
Linda doesn't like those. Look at she's
I
getting
hate those.
emotionally
I don't like that.
attached to that.
And that was loud.
That's my point, right?
Good job, no.
But that's what I'm saying. And the more no's you get, the more
What
yeses.
yeses you get?
I get no's every single day. I don't attach myself, right? Because you can't lose that which you've never had.
Right.
So why are you kicking and screaming? Right? You know what I'm saying? So this is psychology, right? And think about that. This is really the biggest hurdle that you're going to face in this business. And when I think of that, I look at like, you know what? I'm wearing a suit right now on Saturday morning and I'm feeling good. There's AC on. I'm working a half day today. And I look out and I see people that are hating their jobs right now. That they wake up like, I gotta go to this job that I freaking hate. And I'm like, I don't. Well, I don't want to do your job because I can't take no. Well, I'd rather take no's all day than do that. Does that make sense? And once you get that emotional muscle down, you're in freedom. I promise you, your whole life will change. What are you denying yourself by emotionalizing the word no? Think about it. It's your emotions, guys. I promise you. That's all this is, right? That's all it is. And the more phone calls you make, the better you get. Okay? Teach your new associates to set appointments. So the better your new associate is, the more likely they're going to set them. So you have to hold accountability, okay? You got to hold accountability to that. New associates will avoid setting them appointments if they feel they do not have the necessary skills or support. You with me? Think about that, right? And this is as a leader, here's what I would do is like go to your key people and say, how many appointments have you set in the last week? And I promise you, you're going to get somewhere between 0 and 1 or 2. Right? And you're like, that's why it's not going. The person with the most activity is going to win. Right? Activity, activity, activity. Thomas is getting his activity up. Right? I see Chris stepping up on the activity side. That's where it is, right? It's not the results as much as it is the activity. Because if you do the activity, the results will take care of themselves. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. If you want your business to explode, make sure your new associates are great at setting appointments. Wow. Think about that. That's all you got to get good at. If you really think about it, just set appointments. So when you got a team that says, oh, Michelle, difference is hard and this and that, and shut up. Go set appointments, right? Let's go. Suck it up, Buttercup. Get your ass out in the field. Let's go. Go set 10 more appointments, right? That's how we have to be as leaders. Stop emotionalizing it. Okay. Master presenting. Write this down because it's very, very well written here. You must master a simple, clear, and question-oriented presentation that ties down the prospect through the presentation. That's well said. Simple, clear, and question-oriented. It's not telling, right? Stop telling people what's good. Because when you tell people, that's your opinion, not theirs. Questions. Great presenters are great question askers. That's how I start off the BPM upstairs. When I get the guests in there, I right off the bat, before I start telling them, like, it would be ludicrous, right? If I was like, guys, this is the best opportunity on the planet. It was so good. There's nothing better than Difference Financial. If they're smart and they're sitting in the chair, they'd be like, that's your opinion, douchebag, right? It's the truth. You with me? It's the truth, right? They're like, okay, you're speaking, don't speak for me. People get really annoyed when you try to speak for them. Mm-hmm. Hey, Sarah, just so you know, this is the best opportunity in the planet right now, right? You should look at it. You need to do this. That's my opinion, not hers. You're not going to do business that way. Now, question-oriented is, here's how I start out the presentation. So, guys, good evening. Thank you for being here. So before I go on to share my story, let me ask you a question. By show of hands or by nodding your head, would you guys agree that there's a lack of financial education in our country?
Yes.
Yes. I hear yes. I hear nodding heads. Now, they said that, so they own it. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm giving them the ability, right? I'm tying them down through questions for them to buy into my logic, right? But if I said, hey guys, so just so you know, let me start out by saying there is a lack of financial education in our country. Okay, I want you guys to know that. Now, that's my opinion. I said it, but they could defend it. They'll be like, I'm not going to say nothing, but I disagree with that statement. I've already lost them right in the first 10 seconds.
Right.
You with me? So think about your presentation is, are you more telling or are you asking? And if you're just a teller, right, then you ain't making no money. Questions, right? So I always start off with that. Because you agree there's lack of financial education in the country? Yes. Right? Here's another thing to meditate on, right? And I say that up there. If money was not an issue, whatever that means to you, how would you be spending your time? And I love that because right off the bat, I'm going to the mind. Because you know what makes a good answer? is a good question. Ask questions, right? So look at your presentation and say, am I just talking at this person too much? Or am I asking, or trust me, if you start asking questions, you're going to get a way more better results.
Yeah, 2 years and 1 month for a
There we
reason.
go, right? Your presentation must make the new associate feel like it's simple, easy, and they can do it. This is simple, this is easy, this is fun. Right? So if your presentation is too complex, it creates two problems. Number one, it overwhelms a prospect that you're trying to either bring on board or make them your client. It overwhelms them, right? So what happens when people feel overwhelmed?
I shut down.
They shut down. They're like, it's too overload, right? There's too much information. Keep it simple. The point of the presentation is to motivate a new associate to either want to become an entrepreneur or learn about the opportunity and services we provide. Right? So that's it. I'm either going to, people are going to be compelled to either, I want to learn about entrepreneurship or I want to learn how to get my finances in order. I don't choose for them. They choose for themselves. Right? They choose for themselves. I'm going to ask questions because if I see some potential in Sarah, and I say, Sarah, can I ask you a question? Have you ever thought about entrepreneurship? Yeah, I have. Or, no, not for me. I don't do that. The stupidest thing I could do would be like, well, you should. Let's try to convince you to make it happen, right? I don't do that, right? I'm looking for someone that's looking for me. I'm looking for someone that says, yes, I thought about entrepreneurship. I really want to get into something like that. I own my own business. I just don't know how. Right? We found something here. Practice your presentation during your downtime. I wonder how many of you actually do this. Practice on a spouse or friend. Record someone who has mastered it and copy them until you get your own. Okay? Practice, practice, practice. Number 4, master overcoming objections related to building and sales. So one of the major reasons people wash out of difference is that they get objections and are incapable of overcoming even the most basic concerns and objections. Right? So Ivy, she's like, well, I did a field training with Ivy. And Ivy's like, that was straight out of the webinar. I was like, because the girl, she said to me, she's like, is this commission?
Do you like commission?
That's exactly what I said. I was like, do you like commission? No. Hey, what is it about commission you don't like?
Yeah.
She's like, it's not secure and I can't leave my job. Right? I said, okay, well, if you could learn how to make commission without leaving your job, would you be open to exploring that? You could do that here? Sure. Is that something you're open to learn about? Yes. See that? But what we tend to do when we don't know how to master overcome objections is we start defending. Hey Tom, is this commissions? Oh no, well it's like this and the commissions work this way and let me tell you how we get paid.
I love commission.
Right? Well, you don't know, right? That's what I'm saying. You don't know where someone stands, so you always have to qualify because sometimes what they're asking you is not the underlying issue at all. So you have to qualify that. We call that porcupine close. The porcupine is you feed the question back. So for example, Thomas, real quick, before we move forward, is this sales?
Why do you like sales?
See what I'm saying? Sarah, sorry to interrupt you, is this network marketing? How can you feed that question back?
Do you like network marketing?
Yeah, do you like network marketing?
Yeah, and I've had people be like, I love it, right? Or they might say, I don't do network marketing. What else can you do? What do you say now?
I have no idea.
What about network marketing you don't like?
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? What is it about network marketing you don't like? I'm not big on this whole trying to recruit everybody. What is it about trying to recruit everybody that bothers you? I don't like people thinking I'm trying to pressure them.
Have people pressured you in the past?
Yeah, and say yeah. Right? And I say, okay, well, what if you could teach people how money works without having to pressure them? Would you be open to learning that? Yeah. Okay, great, we'll talk about that.
It's good.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to talk about, right? Those are the things that we learn because overcoming people's concerns is just feeding it back to them, kind of putting the mirror up, right?
And you don't have to, it's not just for this business, it's for every part of your life when you're having a conversation with somebody. Because you don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So if you ask him, he's good at it because he's got his other business that he does. So he's been doing this for years. But when you haven't been practicing it, you just forget. So, right?
Exactly.
Do you do those things on your wife?
All the time.
Yeah. What about taking out the trash? Don't work, darling.
Why is it like that? Why do we have to take out the trash? I don't understand. It's like automatically, you know, you gotta take out the trash.
I
Like,
take out the trash. It's really no big deal.
I have to take out the trash.
I gotta go.
Confidence in the words equals action, right? Because when you know what to say, you got to look at differences like a playwright.
Yes.
It's like a play. They're always going to ask the same things, right? Is this commission? Is this sales? Is this a pyramid? Right?
Yes.
Is this,
You like
is this MLM? Is this, are these companies good? Right? They're going to ask you the same thing over and over again. So just kind of like you rehearsing a play that you're going to do. It's like, they become reflexive. Wait, Carl, is this a pyramid? What's a pyramid? Oh, you got to recruit people, and those people recruit people. Yeah. What about that turns you off? I don't like it. Okay, what if you could build a business without having to recruit anybody? Would you be open to learn that? Yeah. You see that? So it's just learning how to overcome people's basic concerns through questions, not telling. Right? Questions, not telling. Right? They have to close themselves. You just present the question. It's such a different way of forcing it on people.
They make the decision.
They
don't
make,
do it for them.
When they say it, they own it.
There you go, right? And it builds your confidence, which means if you have more confidence, you're going to take more action. That's why field training, if you're a good field trainer, you're going to become a master copy worth being copied, because hungry people want to go out with a great field trainer. And I'm eager, right? I'm like, take me on the field. That's why good field trainers make the most money. Okay? So we get rejected most often because our skill set is too low. So as you raise your skill level, everything gets easier. The only way you get your skill level up is through experience. Number 5 is master life insurance and annuities. And that's what we're going to give you. You must know each of how these products work inside and out. And I think one of the biggest unconscious, right? What does unconscious mean?
Do without thinking.
Yeah, we're unaware, right? This is where programming is, because even though we got people from all walks of life and age groups in our business, we're all products of the same defeated system that has just become insolvent, and that is our education system. Here's the problem as an entrepreneur, and this is where people struggle, okay? Being resourceful. I can't tell you how many times that I've had people come to me and be like, can we train, it's Tuesday, can we train next Tuesday on how IULs work? And in my mind, I'm like, so you're going to wait 7 days to get the information that you can go get it yourself? That blows my mind, right? And you know why people are like that? Because they're used to being spoon-fed their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And so we blame this. This is where victimization comes from, and we blame other people and things for why we're not winning. I'm not winning in difference, or I'm not winning in my marriage because they're not giving me the information. But the information is all around us, right? You have to be, and this is Tony Robbins' one of Tony Robbins' greatest coaching lines that I ever heard is, "It's never a lack of resources, right? That's the problem." And that's what people think. It's a lack of resourcefulness. So that means that what is the true problem is we're the problem, right? You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. You're either going to go get the information or you're not, right? And if I don't get what I need to get from somebody, then I'm going to go find a way to go get it myself. That's my ethos as an entrepreneur. You're either someone that's going to help me, like get there faster, or I'm just going to go around you and go get it myself. Like that's just the only way, right? That's the only way. You have to have that kind of sense of urgency, because if you're just like, well, the whole 7 days I didn't do nothing to my difference business because I'm going to wait till next Tuesday where I actually learn about IULs to actually talk to somebody about it. I'm like, you just let 7 days of your life go by that you're never going to get back because you're waiting on someone to give you something that you need to be successful. Ouch. That's why you're broke, or that's why you're struggling, because you wait on other people to feed you, right? Sorry, I can't wait on anybody to feed me. I got to go feed myself because my family's depending on me, right? That's the point. You gotta know these products inside and out. Why? Because being able to teach them, share the features and benefits will motivate people to buy them. You gotta know the selling points of what we do. And those selling points are based in fact, not emotion. Does that make sense? I'm gonna work on my people skills, but when people say, you know what, here's why I think this is good for you, right? Because in this rollover, you're never gonna lose any money. You're gonna get 50% of the market and you're gonna get a lifetime income. Do you see the value in that? I do. Now, would you be willing to add this to your portfolio so that you never run out of money in your old years? Yes, I would. Okay, let me show you how to do that. All right? Because I'm going over features and benefits. All right? It's not personal. It's just, I'm saying it fast. Key point here, right? To attract the right kind of people, you must be able to articulate why joining difference and offering our products help people dramatically improve their financial lives. This is a very key point here, okay? I gotta feel that from you as a leader if I'm gonna follow you. The better you know our products, the more confident you will be in presenting them. People will buy your confidence in the products. It's true, right? If you can't explain your products, people will never buy it because there's no confidence behind them. And that comes out in your body language and in your voice and in your tonality. I can just read it, right? Knowledge of our products increases your closing ratio. Key point. Master recruiting across the kitchen table. Okay, and if you're going to build a business for your new associate, you're going to have to master, right, recruiting across the kitchen table. It's true. I can't have Sarah duplicate something that she doesn't, that if she's like, how do I track, if someone goes to Sarah and says, Sarah, I think I want to join this business, they're not just going to say that to her unless she can present them some value for them to contemplate it. So she needs to see, this is how you bring somebody on board, okay? There needs to be a value, right? And remember to say, write this down. Recruiting is always a solution to a problem. It's a solution to a problem, as with anything in capitalism. You gotta know how to recruit, you gotta know how to sell, you gotta know how to build. All by observing you, the trainer. This will lead to limitless appointments since each new associate has a warm market that they too will need to be trained in. Number 7 is master getting the new recruits hot, warm, and cool market list, right? So, this is a big one right here too. So that's why I'm like with Sarah, let me tell you, so where I told her this, like, Sarah, all you need to focus on right now is your licensing and go get 10 to 20 field training appointments done. So all you need to be like, what's my next step, Karlo? I got a Tuesday at noon, another webinar with a friend in Virginia. I got a Thursday, I got a 10 and 12 and a 1. Okay, great. So now we're just detached from outcome, right? Because I don't care if the person says, yes, I want to do this, or no, I don't. I'm not concerned with that. What's my biggest concern as a trainer? Duplication.
Yeah.
Giving her, she's like, I've seen Karlo do that. Oh, Karlo says the same thing over and over again. Because if we did 10 appointments and they all said no, it's still a win. Why?
Field training.
Experience.
Because she got the experience. And she's like, I now know what to say and do. Right? So, duplication. We're detached from the outcome. But are we going to get results? We're going to get results anyway. Why? Because what we do is valuable. Right? That everybody needs. Okay? So, what'd you get from today?
Being afraid to talk to people is selfish.
Do you get that?
Yeah. You have the keys to the kingdom.
Right?
Yeah.
You got the
have
key
the power
to,
to give them access.
you got the cure to financial cancer, and people are in stage 4. Right? Think about it. Okay? What'd you get, brother?
I want to work on step 5, master life insurance and annuities.
That's what we're gonna give you, brother. Right? We're on it. Okay, watch that webinar. If you guys don't watch
I'm excited, I'm not watching it now.
if you don't watch the Mark Molina webinar,
Is it on
watch
Facebook?
It's on the Facebook page. Good stuff. What'd you get, Erica?
The same thing, not to be afraid of talking to people, because
Yes.
I'm just being selfish.
Yeah.
So while you were doing all of this, like a lot of people were coming to mind. So I wrote down their names.
There you go.
I like 7 down.
There you go.
Yeah.
Linda.
I would say just really focusing more on prospecting and making appointments and just practicing what I would say and just because like I'm, learning more how to qualify them.
That's it.
See if there's even an interest to get together.
Put logic, right? This is the system,
Yeah.
guys. Put logic to your process. You know, yes, I want you to be fired up and feel good and emotionally charged up, but at the end of the day is put logic to the process, right? Are you functioning? Are you doing the things that need to be done? Not just every now and then, but consistently. Right, Chris?
Winning is strategic.
Yeah.
Following, your head,
Yeah.
not your heart. Oh, it was great training, Carlo. Really good. There was a lot of golden nuggets.
It took me a lifetime.
Always use any type of platform to lift up others,
Yeah.
not just in your business, but like with your family. And how can I be better?
Yeah.
On a whole different level, not just business wise, but personal, as a better husband, father, human being. So yeah, no, training was very, very good. Thank you. And it seems like it gets better.
It does, bro. We're getting better, man. That's one thing you can count on me, man. It's just, we're getting better right now. And I'm excited.
The most important thing though is for everyone to realize is that we have the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
Right?
And at the end of the day, the only thing that will stop you is your confidence. So if you don't believe, it will resonate, and detaching yourself from outcome is very liberating, it's very free, like Karlo says, because that's helped me a lot as well, because I know when I first started, I was like, when I was sitting in front of somebody, I was like, fuck, I want to enjoy my business, I want to close a deal, but now it's just like, you know what, I'm just going to share my story, and at the end of the day, it takes time to build a relationship with a stranger, and it all depends on how you affect people. If you rub them the right way, you plant those seeds. Eventually, you will reap the fruit. It doesn't happen overnight, but yeah, no, it was good, and also becoming a master. Which is very important.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
I think also,
Well said. Thank
I
you.
like that was great. I like the detachment aspect, but looking into, or I guess I should say, and looking into like the law of expectation, maybe going in with the expectation that this is going to go great.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to love you. Like, it's going to go great. But then also being detached from the outcome. Like, expecting it, but if it doesn't go that way, that's okay.
Exactly. Well
But
said.
going in expecting, like, this is going to go really good. It's going to be fun no matter what.
Well said. Yeah. Our leaders feel that, and something like that. One thing that you'll get as a leader here, and it's not cocky, but I love when you get a skeptical person like, I was like, well, let's just get together and have a cup of coffee and let's just build a relationship. Okay, I'll do that. I'm like, oh, got him.
He don't know what he just did.
You messed up, man.
Yeah. And I see Isaac, he feels the same way because it's a confidence thing, because I know if I'm skeptical, I know that he's going to give me confidence. And he knows that he's going to give me confidence, that he's going to be like, how can I not want to be in a relationship with this guy? Right? And that's how you should feel about yourself. Like, I'm used to love you, man. You just know, once you get to know each other, you're going to fall in love. It's going to feel like glue. And that's a good thing.
Awesome.
All right? Any questions about anything? Go forth and be great. All right?